name is Zach Franceschi, and I work on the creative team at Polar Outdoor Stuff in Portland, Oregon. I grew up skateboarding and, interested in like surfing when I was younger, and then as I got older, I got really into music, and that leads to like music publications and magazines. And one day I just kind of had this epiphany that everything I was interested in had some kind of graphic element to it. Like when I was young, it was all about skateboard graphics and t-shirt graphics and brands, and then when I kind of got into music, it was all about like show flyers and album covers and like magazines and stuff like that. And I don't know, I guess I got to the point where I felt like I was too old and uncoordinated to keep skateboarding, and like wasn't playing as much music, but design was a way I could like still stay involved in those kind of things. And I didn't really grow up doing a lot of art or stuff like that. I liked photography, and I took a screen printing class in high school, and I was interested in media, but I was also really interested in writing and just like that kind of stuff. And I guess when I discovered design, I kind of realized like I can take my interest in media and kind of also apply my interest in writing and messaging and concepts and stuff like that, and have them kind of be together. I was lucky enough to study graphic design at Portland State University, where there's this really awesome kind of connection between the program and the kind of design communities, studios, brands, and different stuff like that in the city. And the creative director, Benji, reached out to one of my teachers and asked if there was anybody she could recommend to work. And she knew I was a big fan of the brand, and that I was a goofball, and that he was kind of a goofball, and it would be a good personality match, and it was. So I started out as an intern. We went to lunch, and he said, I need help with a lot of different things, and I don't even know what it all is yet, but could you do it? And I said, yeah, sure, I would be stoked to. And so we just a variety of social media projects, blogging, design projects, layout stuff, photo stuff. Things just kind of kept going and going as the brand was getting bigger and bigger, like more opportunities to work on different things. And I like working on a lot of different things. I think I would be sad if I was just sitting at my computer all the time, just clicking buttons. And so it was a good fit that way. Basically, the main thing when I tell people that I work for Polar Stuff, they go, oh yeah, I follow them on Instagram. And I say, yeah, that's one of the things I do, is I run that Instagram account. And they go, no way. It's like way more recognition than anything else that I do. But it's fun because it kind of, sometimes you forget that people are actually paying attention or watching, or the main thing is that in addition to working on design stuff, I really like writing, and that's why it's fun for me, is because the brand voice kind of matches the way I talk anyway, where it's like you're kind of dry and you're kind of exaggerating the features because you know that it's really just a bag. And it's like we're trying to kind of joke the really technical aspect of everything in promotion. And it's a little bit sarcastic, and that's the way I am, so it's a good fit. But people will, I tell them they do it, and instead of just being like, oh, those photos are cool, they're like, oh, those captions are really funny. I really liked when you wrote this one. And I'm like, oh, good. People actually are reading the captions and think they're funny, and it's not just me laughing at myself. Being an in-house designer is really fun because if you're lucky enough to work with a brand that you think is a good brand and aligns with the things you like and what you like to work on, it's kind of like you have the perfect client. Some people, I hear a lot of people say that in-house stuff is like, they're like in-house, wouldn't that be boring? Wouldn't you just be working on the same stuff all the time? But the cool thing is, with certain brands, if it's like a young brand, it can keep growing and you can be a part of that and you can push the brand to areas that maybe they didn't think about before you were there. Versus, if you're at an agency, a brand might hire that agency to just say, we need somebody to do this and just do it perfectly. When you're working in-house, there's kind of room for a lot of experimentation and a lot of like blending of roles. That's one thing that's really nice. Like Polar is a small brand and sometimes they end up doing stuff that has nothing to do with design, but ends up being really rewarding and really fun, and you end up just learning a new thing that maybe has nothing to do with what you think you want to do, but it's just still like a different thing to draw from. And some of the most fun days here are days where like just a huge shipment of boxes come in and we all have to like work together to sort everything and turn it around and send it back out the next day. Like it's fun to get off the computer and do something else and kind of like clear your mind. Yeah. If you're lucky enough to be in a city where there's a design industry and community and they are open to talking with you, take up all those opportunities that you can. I was really lucky to be in Portland and I got involved in a lot of stuff. Like I was helping out with Design Week Portland and I met a lot of people through that, and I was helping out with the student group at my program where I kind of became the host of the weekly lecture series, and so I got to meet with and talk with all kinds of people. And I think just because my professors saw that I cared and that I was really involved and that I was not just like, I'm good and I will get a job no matter what, but that I was interested in being a part of the community and meeting people, that they started recommending me for stuff. Like if somebody was saying, I need a student to help me with this project, they would say, this guy really cares and is dependable, and that really paid off for me. I think I went to school with a lot of students who were super talented, probably way more talented than I was, but they just did not seem like they wanted to be there or they cared at all. And I don't even really know what happened to most of them, but I have to assume they probably just fell through the cracks. Because it's not only about how good you are and how hard you work, but also just that people know that you're engaged and you're fun and that you'll be fun to work with.